So last week I teased the new addition to the stable, something that I ordered several months ago. Finally came in. It got delivered to my house instead of the toy box here, so I'll insert that delivery clip here sometime in this video. But for now, let's clean this thing up and then I'll give you guys a tour. Check it out. Damn. All right, got it all clean and coated. Got the tires done. I am off camera. I'm going to do a coating of graphene ceramic spray coating. This is a little bit stronger, a little more, I guess, robust versus the coating I just did, which is graphene CS3. This is great stuff. I use it every single time in between washes. It lasts forever as long as you do that, but this is a more potent, or I guess concentrated version of a coating. It's still very simple. You don't have to put any UV lights or let it cure for a crazy amount of time, but you do want to let it sit for at least a couple hours. But anyway, you spray it on a little pad. I'll do this off camera. I'm going to spray it on the pad, rub it into each panel. I'm going to let it flash for like 1 to 3 minutes probably. Depends on how long this stuff takes to cure. And then I'll wipe it off, buff it off, and then I'll just let it sit for the season. So I'm going to do that off camera. My back. I got her done. Got it coated, even got the wheels coated, so she is looking mighty fine, and it is good for the season, and actually into probably most of next season too. Look at that shine, boys. That looks good. All right, let's get this thing moved over a little bit, then I'll give you a tour. Man, she cleans up so nice. This is such a good looking, classic looking Aston. Alright, that was my inspiration when I designed this one. You guys may have seen if you've been following the channel for a while. I had a 2023 Aston Martin Vantage in, what was that? Lightning Silver. It was kind of, well, we don't have the SLS anymore. It's kind of like the SLS Iridium Silver. I guess a little bit like these Corvettes and this Hummer, but more blue, I think, undertone in it. It was really sharp color, but it wouldn't have been my first choice. It looks a lot different in person than it does online. In person it was a little bit too light, so I wanted to go something a little bit darker than that. Not as dark as the magnetic metallic, which is what my parents' DBX 707 is. Super nice looking paint, really rich, a lot of flake into it. But I didn't want something as, again, kind of darker blue. I wanted more of a pewter, or like a, not slate, that's more slate, just like, you know, like a true gray. So I went up to my local dealership, got a couple samples sent to me, and I ended up going with what's called Illuminite Silver. I think it's a pretty classic looking car from Aston. Almost, I don't know a whole lot about it, but it might be like the James Bond type color. That's what it reminds me of, at least. It has a little bit in some light, not this one, but a little bit of kind of a gold undertone in most angles and lights. It has that silver gray look to it. You can kind of see on that front quarter panel right here what I'm talking about. A little bit of a gold, almost copper, but not as much. Depends on the angle. It kind of changes. So let's talk about what I designed here. So this is a 2025 Aston Martin Vantage, and another reason why I wanted to trade my other one, sorry to keep going back to this, but I knew this was coming out, so I knew that the old model of the Vantage was a little bit of a, some people didn't care for it. The headlights I didn't like, but the way it drove was awesome. That's why I wanted to get another one. So they did huge updates both inside and out to the 2025 model year. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But so on the outside, this is Illuminite Silver. Now Aston Martin is a little bit like Ferrari, where there's not, you know, 100 different colors, but there's just dozens of different colors you can choose. They have, you know, a dozen different grays, silvers, whites, purples, greens. They just have lots of colors in the color palette. So it's kind of tough picking out just one, but this is what I landed on. They do have a number of different options for the wheels. I think it's maybe like 4 or 5, something like that. I went with the satin black Y-spoke. When I think of wheels, you know, when I'm designing a car, first thing I think of is how easy is it going to be to clean. Next thing is how much is it going to show dirt. Now I went with the matte black, and I went with this design because of those two things right there. But what you see beyond that are carbon ceramic brakes. That is an option. Now, I don't plan on ever tracking this car, but I wanted the carbon ceramics because they produce a whole lot less brake dust than a normal steel rotor, for example. And to contrast the black with the ceramics, I went with the yellow calipers. That was another option as well. Again, same thing with the paint. They have a number of different colors available for that. I went with the yellow, and I'll show you why as we get on the inside. Now, the expensive part of this build is, well, you could probably see, it's all the carbon fiber around. There's an upper carbon fiber pack and a lower carbon fiber pack. Surprisingly, that upper does not come with this roof. This is another option. So of course I brought the carbon fiber all around as much as I could, and that really did skyrocket the value of this car, or the cost. If this wasn't here, this would have been a gloss black similar to this. If this wasn't here, I would have had to either pick gloss black or body colored. I hate gloss black, so I've got one body colored, but I wanted to bring that carbon fiber all the way from the top to the bottom. So coming down here to the lower parts, get these side skirts and these diffusers, front and back, even these little wings right here, which are functional. Those air intakes, see that? That really skyrocketed the value of this car. One thing I could have done on the outside, you can change the color of these badging. Well, here, the DBX actually has it. You can either do the classic badge, which I did on that, or you can do this dark. Looking back on it, I kind of wish I did the dark, but my thought during it was to get, again, that more classic Aston Martin, that timeless Aston Martin look. So I went the standard chrome Aston Martin with the classic badge. Here's some more of that carbon fiber on the rear diffuser. And since we're back here too, this is another option. Porsche does this as well, but you can I guess smoke out this taillight, otherwise it'd be red, which I don't think, I mean, red doesn't look terrible on cars, but if you can have a chance to smoke it out, I think it looks much nicer. Another thing I did, let's see if I can do it, just grab the key. Oh, actually one thing I did forget too, on the outside, you can pick what color you want in your front grille. It can either be dark like this. I think the DBX, you can kind of see, has a brighter grille. See that? Sorry. I went with the darker grille, which I think looks really, really sharp. Now moving on to the inside, this is a nice little option. If you push the unlock button on your key fob, watch the handles. They present themselves now. A little bit easier than pushing this in and then pulling, but I'm just gonna end up probably just coming up to it and see what happens. Yeah, so you just push that a little bit, keep the key in your pocket, and you get the presenting handles. All right, earlier I mentioned bringing these yellow calipers in on the inside. I very much enjoy the way silver, black, and yellow look. That's why I brought the yellow from the outside to the inside. If you guys haven't seen my Turbo S video, I did design this one as well. Similar build. You can see the yellow calipers. That theme goes onto the inside. So in here we do have the contrast stitching. This was an option. They have a number of different colors. I think there's maybe 7 different colors you can choose just for this contrast. And seats, these are the Inspire seats, monotone. They have several different options to choose from. I wanted to go for comfort, but more importantly, I did not want any suede or Alcantara, and I did not care for the standard design. It's kind of a weird stitching pattern. To me, this is more, I don't know, sporty and comfortable. So sort of best of both worlds with that. But again, bringing the yellow from the outside in. Let's jump on in here real quick. See, only 46 miles on the odometer. Bringing more of that carbon fiber from the outside to the inside. I went with the carbon fiber center stack here. That puts the carbon fiber all throughout the whole dash as well. Now, if you guys have seen my previous videos and reviewing other cars, I did have a BMW iX, which came with a Bowers & Wilkins audio system. In my opinion, that was the best audio system I've ever had. So of course, this being an option on the Aston, I had to go with it. I don't know how many speakers it is, but I do know it was a pretty pricey upgrade. I love a good audio, just like I love a way a car sounds. Which, speaking of the way it sounds, I forgot to mention this too. I did go with the titanium exhaust. Yeah, you guys heard it. I think it sounds pretty good. I saw some reviews on this thing saying that this steering wheel is too girthy, too thick. I totally disagree. I love a thick, like masculine feeling, muscular feeling steering wheel, I should probably say. And this definitely fits the bill. This is heated as well. That was an option. This is all new for 2025. Aston Martin has been borrowing or using old, essentially I think it's Mercedes tech, like even things like the window buttons. These were from old, these aren't, but my 2023 had old Mercedes technology and parts in here, including those, and it really kind of bugged me. But they're bringing more, I should say, newer Aston Martin specific tech to the inside. So now gone is that cheap ass infotainment system from the past. Turn that down. Here's a nice little greeting screen. Everything in here is touchscreen finally, and it's pretty, actually quite responsive. See, here you got different gauges. You have a whole bunch of different settings you can change, but look how responsive this is. See, it's just pretty dang quick. Down here you got just typical buttons. Of course, everyone needs an exhaust button. I wish this had a front lift. I don't think it's going to be too much of a concern because it's not all that low to the ground, but I do wish I had a front lift. We got heated and cooled seats for both driver and passenger. Alright, this took me a little bit of time to figure out, but there is actually indicators on the sides. See, there's nothing over there, but there's one down here. You can bring it up. And some page over here, you can bring it up. Yeah, it's so nice having a touchscreen now on these Aston Martins. Makes a huge difference. And that's about it on the inside and out. This is an option, I know. This little ring around here, it's like a dark finish versus a bright. I think that also comes through here as well. Cup holders, center storage, got a few USB-C ports in there. This is a hatch, so there is a decent amount of space back here. Oh, gotta wipe that up. Yeah, so you can probably put, maybe if you take this thing down, you might be able to fit a bag of clubs back here. Oh, I didn't notice this before. Look at that. That's a nice support bar. Very cool. And then you kind of see here, this is one of my favorite features too. Look at this from the front. I love how the doors slightly go up. You know, they don't just come straight out. They go up at some slight angle. Here's a cool feature I almost forgot to mention. To charge the vehicle, there's a little access part right here. You see that? Those two little prongs? Just a magnetic cap. Well, here, I can show you. Just a magnetic cap that connects to it. So from the outside, you don't need to roll down any windows or force the charger to go through a seal in the back. You just connect it to the magnetic cap on the back, and the cord faces this way, and you're good to go. I wish more vehicle manufacturers would set up storage for charging similar to that. Very nice. Alright guys, that pretty much concludes it. The new addition to the stable. I think it fits in very nice. It's good to have another Aston Martin back. As I said before, I did have that 23 Lightning Silver Vantage that was, I didn't beat the hell out of it, but I got a really good deal on it, and I sold it at the perfect time because the dealership, unfortunately, I sold it to. They had to take a loss on it because that's the bad part about vehicles, right? The previous model year, in most cases, you know, not like these two up here. In some cases like this, the previous model year just totally decays and erodes the value because of a new one coming out. And it was just all in the timing. Let me talk about the price real quick, because as you guys know, if you watched my videos in the past, all these guys, we didn't pay a dime over sticker on it. In fact, most of them we got at a discount. And that's achieved basically by negotiating, but more importantly, a relationship that we've built over the years, like Porsche. For example, I get a discount on all those cars. Not much, not as nearly as much as this. And this is kind of a similar situation. So it's nice that things are starting to relax a little bit, and you cannot expect to pay, you know, you get price gouge at the dealerships. In fact, most places are discounting it. The Hummer EV, for example, when this thing came out, I've had this for a year and a little over a year. They wanted like 25K over. My local dealerships wanted like that much over. Now the dealerships are discounting them like 10,000 bucks. All right, let's talk about where I acquired this one from. This is bought from Napleton Aston Martin in Chicago, and I went with them because that is who I bought my Lightning Silver Vantage from. It was a really good experience. These guys were willing to work with me, and they had an allocation. But the most important thing is though that they gave me a pretty steep discount on this. I got free delivery, which is worth about 2,000 bucks from Illinois to Minnesota, and maybe not quite that much, but it was worth a lot. And also I got 7% off MSRP. Now it's tough to get a discount on cars that are custom ordered. Usually dealerships will discount something that's been sitting on the lot for 60 days or something like that. Not the dealership in Washington. They have Astons sitting on their lot for 2 months and still trying to sell at MSRP. That's probably why they're sitting there. This one I was able to custom order, get free delivery, get 7% off, and it's going to result in me coming back to them again. So you go to these smaller, they're not small, you go to these other dealerships and not everyone is trying to price gouge you. There are dealerships out there still trying to generate relationships and create loyalty, I guess, from their customers, and Aston Martin of Chicago is one of them. So my local guys are like that too now. They gave us a discount on the DBX, and moving forward I think there's like a 10% discount offered on any new Aston Martin bought from them because, well, there's competition. I told them about my deal here and they're like, well, we can beat that. And by that point, of course, it was too late, so I could have saved a few more points, but what I'm getting at is you don't have to always settle for the price you see from dealerships, especially high-end. There's a lot of markup in these cars. They can discount them 7% and still acquire profit. I do think things are finally starting to settle down. Dealerships are willing to negotiate a little bit, and this is a good example. So anyway, I'm going to stop rambling. Let me know what you guys think of this. I think it's a great addition to the stable. It'll fit right in. It's good to have an Aston Martin again. Pa wants one of these actually too. He wants to build one just like this, but it was the other color I was looking at. Tungsten silver, I want to say. I think it's a little bit more of a gray, less of a silver. Could be wrong. Stay tuned for that. That may or may not come. He is going to sell. I told him not to buy it. He is going to sell the Lotus over here. But they're a cool looking car. It's just, I don't know, it's kind of cheap. I hate to say that. It's not cheap. It costs a lot of money. But, you know, it's a glorified Toyota, and he doesn't like the clutch. It's really stiff. and I don't know why he bought it. He shouldn't have bought it, so he might trade that in towards his own Vantage, but whatever. We share cars. He can drive this whenever he wants. So, all right, guys. Well, I gotta get out of here. I'm gonna end this video here. Let me know what you guys think. As always, I do appreciate you watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks.